I actually think if enough women believe in what you believe, there'll be 1 billion people on this planet here pretty soon. I didn't believe in this shit. I really thought Elon Musk was way over exaggerating this stuff. But the more I listen to women being like, no, we need to wait till we're 40, I'm like,
you're a girl and you're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and driven, you are most likely single right now. And all the guys are gonna get pissed right now, but it's so true. I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or at least like meets you. And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money, it's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just cunts because like they have every option in the world. Because there's no absolute way I'm marrying someone that makes less money than me, isn't as funny, or like doesn't have as good people skills. Like there's just no way that that's happening.
Obviously, evolutionary psychologists have been telling us this exact same thing. As women start, so as more women enter the workforce with college degrees, they end up making more money, and they tend to choose men. And the number they found was about 1.65. So meaning if she makes $100,000 a year, she wants a man who makes about $165,000 a year. In general, that's what they're looking for. So you ask women in general, do you want someone tall? They don't all say 6 feet tall, but they say about 2 or 3 inches taller than them. So they want someone who's taller than them. They want someone, like she said, who's funnier than them, who might be smarter than them, who's more ambitious than them, who makes more money than them. So as you climb that scale and you become more accomplished as a woman, then there's fewer and fewer men to choose from. And of those men you have to choose from, those men have unlimited options, and it becomes a problem. What do you think, Stacey?
I agree. And then also I think it could be kind of this way on both sides. So also
not really, because I don't care at all how much money my girlfriend makes.
Well,
or
okay,
how tall she is.
Well, not that part. Like if the man has unlimited options, again, it depends on the guy. But if he wants to settle down, there might be a girl who's like his dream girl and he doesn't want to settle, but then his dream girl might have unlimited options to him.
The difference is this: the woman, she's going to have unlimited options for short-term sex, absolutely, or for just some casual dating, absolutely. But for commitment, you're going to find I bet you if we could do some kind of study, like top 10% of men in this country make how much money? What do you guys think? What number would you say that is? Top 10% of wage earners. 200. What do you think? It's about $134,000 a year, put you in the top 10%. Top 17% make $100,000 a year. In the top 1%, I think you're at $818,000 a year. In the top 0.1%, you're at $3.3 million a year. I think that's what it is. The top 5%, I think that puts you at $430,000 a year, somewhere in that area. Oh, nice. Anyway, so the point is, when women are asking for men who are 6 feet tall, that's 14% of the population. When they're asking for men who make $200,000 a year, that puts you in like the top 7% of men as far as wage earners. Those men have all those women competing for them. Meanwhile, what you're saying is, well, then the woman has unlimited options. But does she have unlimited options for men to commit?
Well, not that woman, just maybe the woman that the guy who she thinks has limited options wants his dream girl to be. So the one he's looking for, okay, she might think he has unlimited options, but he's looking for this one girl.
He also has a longer timeline, Stacey. You understand? Mm-hmm. He has a way longer, meaning like he could get married at 25 or 35 or 45 or 55 and still have kids.
Okay, but women have kids in their 50s all the time.
It's very rare.
No, it's not all the time. They don't. No, I think that's a misconception.
I will bet in their 50s, there's fewer than 1,000 children in the United States born by women in their 50s.
I think there's more than people think because it's so old that women have children so old that it's back literally in the Old Testament. Like women were like, "Holy crap, I'm pregnant."
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen every once in a while. But your likelihood of carrying a child to term after the age of 40 is like 5%.
Well, I think it is only if you don't stay healthy and you don't keep up with yourself.
For sure. Then we're 7%. We're 9%, but we're not 50%.
But it does as age goes on, you do get attacked more by the world and the unhealthy eating and all that stuff. I don't think that's something that if you are a healthy woman and all that, I wouldn't worry about it until you're maybe in your 50s, but I still wouldn't.
You wouldn't worry about having children. Hold on, time out.
No,
because we just went viral. You would not worry about having children until you're excuse me, editor, please pay attention to this one. You would not worry about having children until you're in your 50s?
Yeah, I think society places this pressure on women to hurry up and panic. And
I don't think it's society. I think it's Charles Darwin.
Well, I don't think it's Charles Darwin because I also don't believe in evolution. I think it's fake. So
think evolution is fake? Keep going.
Absolutely. Evolution is fake. By the way, before anyone says anything, my first bachelor's degree was in astrophysics and I switched it to theology after 2 years. So I've been in science and physics and anthropology and all that, and evolution is fake. So, but I would just say that as a woman who has been dated and in relationship and all that other stuff, but I'm just someone who also, no matter what society has like, hurry up, you need to have a kid at 20, at 25. Like,
well, I understand,
but
what you're talking about is a feeling, and I'm telling you definitively, the probability of you having a child at 50 is less than 1%.
I think that it's a under
reported. It's
yes,
not.
Absolutely.
The U.S. Census is pretty clear on this. Even if it was underreported by a lot, it's still not going to be 1%. It's not even going to get. In fact, I'm sure it's a fraction of 1% likelihood of that happening.
In my theology degree, like when I was like 15 years ago studying this, I've heard a Mormon chick in the Mormon church. She just had like her 7th kid, and she's like, yeah, and I'm only 43, so I'm still young, so I'm going to have children. Like I'm just going to.
You're dealing with someone who's extremely fertile for sure, but they're probably outside the deviation. And having a child at 40 is not impossible. And we're still in the 5% range, right? It's still a possibility. At 50, it's extremely rare. Well, it's more likely you're going to go through menopause and have a child at 50.
Well, this is the whole thing. This is what I'm saying. Everything you're saying to me, I'd be like, yeah, but it's still possible. So I would say that the women that freak out and panic, which is what it sounds like, because it wouldn't matter if the woman really thinks she needs to have a kid because of time and age. If the universe does not bring her a child, then that's what's going to happen.
If I abused my body by taking steroids for a long time, and then I said, your response was, hey, do you know if you do this for a while, it's going to enlarge your heart, probably your internal organs, and you may end up dying earlier, right? That's a legitimate warning. But the world is telling me to not take all those steroids. And you watch Rich Piana, you know all those videos. It's like, I'm not stopping taking steroids. And you know what? You know what's cool about Rich Piana? Anybody? He's dead. He died because the steroids killed him. And it didn't matter what the world. It didn't matter what the world told him. Yeah. So the reality of the situation is, if you wait till 50 to have kids, Stacey, I like you. That's why I'm telling you this. Do not wait till you're 50 to have kids. We're talking about mathematics. Like the percentages, like the likelihood of you being able to carry a child to term at 50 is it's not only unlikely, it's dangerous.
Well, I don't think it's dangerous because women have it.
But you keep saying you don't think it's dangerous.
Well, women don't do it all the time, and they have perfectly healthy children.
Again, there's a lot of data showing that they don't usually have perfectly healthy children at 50.
Well,
this is a fascinating conversation.
They don't in their 30s either. Sometimes they have a lot of problems in their 30s. Sometimes they have a lot of problems in their 20s because they eat like crap, and then they have.
I think they might not eat like crap and still have a problem. Stacey, is the Earth flat?
No, the Earth's not flat.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to see how far this is going.
The whole point being, this whole pressure is of society saying, if you don't freak out, like you don't have it before you're 50. I think
you can have children like in your 20s and not be freaking out. What is this study?
That's the CDC.
Well, everybody knows this fertility rate, but I'm saying it's not something that you need to freak out and force your life to be psycho about.
It's below 1%. Like we're talking 1%. We're talking about or the fertility rate at these area up in the 30s right here.
So that's a 30.
One child. One. Okay, so then after that, it drops to. Like nothing
so
around 45 is like not measurable.
There's this thing called menopause and perimenopause.
Sleep with anyone and to hurry up and get a child in order to ruin her life.
Stacey, what she could do though is make good decisions in her early 20s to pick someone who's good.
And that's what she's talking about, the girl on the screen. Yeah. Even if she does, it's harder to find the dude because it gets a lot harder. Or you can't force either way on her.
Or you could be reasonable. Realize the average guy in the United States makes $60,000 a year and is 5'9". Like that's the other option, is to actually reasonably choose somebody who's across from you.
That's fine too. But if she's just not in love with any of them, then she's not in love. She's not going to force herself to be with a guy who to her
I totally understand. And you know what would happen if women don't want to have kids because they don't fall in love with the men they meet? You know what happens? The fertility rate would go down. Does anyone want to know what's happened to the fertility rate? Or the marriage rate? It's plummeted. And the reason why is because of what you're saying. I actually think if enough women believe in what you believe, there'll be 1 billion people on this planet here pretty soon. And I didn't believe in this shit. I really thought Elon Musk was way over exaggerating this stuff. But the more I listen to women being like, no, we need to wait till we're 40, I'm like, we don't have chance because you
it's
might
not that
have
I'm
one kid at
saying
50,
you
but you're not
need
going to have two.
I'm not saying that you need to wait till you're 40. I'm saying that you don't need to force yourself into a relationship because you haven't found the guy that you're in love with yet, because society is telling you hurry up and have a kid.
Then just don't have
45.
kids. Then just don't have kids at
That's
all.
not, it's not going to happen.
Then Stacey, then just don't have kids at all.
But see, what you're doing is you're putting a pessimistic conclusion onto something that's not even panned out yet. You can't just be like, well, I can't find them now that I'm 31, so I give up and I'm just not having kids. Like, no, keep dating.
No, you can keep trying.
You might have a kid when you're 37. You might have a kid when you're 30.
Yeah, but your and I hate to say this, but your standards for the man you're going to get at 37 should be different.
Absolutely. I totally agree. 100%. And men, when they're 37, they get more mature and they want a wife and kids too now. So you don't have to necessarily rush yourself at 25, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You can wait.
I think at 35, you should probably start rushing yourself.